Hi, how are you doing? It's just a quick video. I've got nothing to show, except perhaps a new necklace, which I think I've shown you before. It's just that I've just been watching my good friend Ephraim Malavi. If you want to know a link to his video, it's on my Urban Gypsy Facebook page. He's just been bringing up a very good topic. He was talking about how he learned to knit and crochet and how it was sort of frowned upon for a male to do this sort of thing in the Latino culture that he was brought up in. But he mentions a good point, you know, about knitting needles and crochet hooks and the sort of snobbery that's attached to a lot of them. And I do agree with him. I personally just knit on metal, straight needles, nothing fancy, whatever, just that. Crochet hooks, I've tried many fancy ones, swing ones, addy ones, this ones, and I still go back to the plain old metal. I must confess that in the last couple of years I've transferred over to Susan Bates, but only because I like the hook end of the way I crochet with it, but it's all personal. But what I agreed with him with is I do hate that this snobbery value that's attached to having to have the right kind of knitting needles in order to knit nicely. Got to have the right kind of crochet hooks in order to crochet nicely. Bunkum. Use what you like. Use what you feel comfortable using. If it happens to be the most expensive needles in the world, then fine. If you can, afford them, fine. I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking these interchangeables, I'm not knocking circulars, I'm not knocking crochet hooks that cost, what, £8, £9, £10 each. It's just, please don't say that these are the crochet hooks to have. These are the knitting needles that you must have. Because you're putting a beginner off. If they don't have the funds and they don't have the wherewithal, that they're made to feel a little bit inferior if they can't afford, the Chiagoos and the whatnots of this world. If you're a beginner, it doesn't matter what you're using as long as you're comfortable with it. So please don't let, people look at you as if you're like poor relation because you're using the kind of things that you can afford. If you're using acrylic yarn, and that's what you want to use because that's what you can afford, use it. There is no shame in using what you can afford and what you can do. I'm not getting at anybody who uses beautiful yarns, who uses the finest of knitting needles and crochet hooks. I'm not getting at you. You use what you want and what you can afford. But all I'm saying is, like Ephraim, is please don't make people feel inferior. Because they don't have what you have, or they're not using the type of hook that you're using. Because in the end, it doesn't make any difference really. The crochet comes from within. The crochet comes from skill. Alright, some needles are nasty and cheap and they do snag on things. Now those, I'm not talking about those. But if your needles are smooth and you like using them, if your hooks are smooth and you like using them, use them. That's all I'm going to say. I told you it was a very short video. Still haven't decided what I'm going to crochet next. I'm hoping that Sue will come tomorrow and inspire me. But I shall go back to using my box standard knitting needles and my box standard crochet hook, and I am very happy doing so. And I don't care if I sit in public and I use them and people go, look at what she's using. Yes, look at what I'm using. I'm happy. Bye now.